Okay, this is Andrew Schlegel, and this is IS 430 Web Programming. I want to welcome you to the course, and I'm going to go over the first project here. So let me make this big. All right. So I'm not going to read everything off of these slides to you. The video and the slides go together to describe the problem, but you can read here the hardware. Software is required. You need XAMPP, something like Notepad++, and I use WinSCP. I prefer that. So this says here, watch this accompanied video with this lab document. Together, these describe the problem, give you what you need to know. All right, so download XAMPP, Notepad+, WinSCP to your computer. That's the first step. You should have already done that at this point. There's a video on the announcements page that kind of helps you with that. There's also some discussion solutions and the discussion questions for different operating systems. So go ahead and take a look at that. All right, the next thing you want to do is configure your environment as outlined in this video. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to configure your environment. So after you download PHP, go to your C drive. Okay, so you're in your C drive, go to XAMPP. You're in XAMPP, go to htdocs. And now in this area, you can create, I created this test folder, right? So go ahead and create that test folder. And then here, I made a .php file. So then go ahead and open your web browser. And then if you take a look here, here's the actual code, very simple, just test code. All right, so I tested it once. So in your browser, you just want to do localhost and then whatever this folder is. So let's just say test again. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Oh, sorry. And I'm going to come over here, re-enter it, test again. So you can see these two are linked. Now, if I don't use this PHP index in this folder right here, it won't work. If I put this if I save this onto my desktop, it's not going to work. So keep that in mind, and that's the way you configure your environment as outlined in this accompanying video. You know, there may be other ways to do it, but that's the easiest way to get started for now. Okay, so let's go to the next slide here. So that's what this means. Example in the video, I just showed you how to configure the environment. So you'll go back and forth between Notepad and XAMPP, creating your project. Now what you have to understand is PHP is a server-side language. That's why you had to download XAMPP, because this is giving you a PHP server here. But this is not your actual web page. Even though you can view your web page, it's not your actual web page. So what you have to do is develop it on this machine and then FTP it to a server. So anyway, what you want to do is create the Notepad+, the CSS file, and use XAMPP to view your web pages. We just pretty much did an example of that. Okay, so that's what you're going to do, except you're going to do it to the specifications of this actual project. And then, as I said, you're going to FTP files to the server. Okay, I'm going to do a separate video that shows you how to FTP the files. I know it says example in video. I'm going to do a separate one. I know most of you have probably already done that, and that's fine if you know how to do it, but watch the video anyway so we're all on the same page. All right, and then you view your web page and you see a most awesome web page that you created. All right, so here's the specific code and assignment is you're going to use the JSON movies file that's located in the folder with this project, and you're going to use these functions to open the file. Now, when you use a function is just like in math. You put something in and you get something out. So you'll save this to a variable, but basically you're putting in the JSON file, right? And then you're getting something out. So you have to understand whenever you use a function is what are you putting in, what's the format, and what are you getting out, what's the format. Okay, so part of that is going to be for you to research is you're opening this file, you'll be putting it out into a variable, and how is that file formatted and organized in that variable, and then you want to use that to create your web page. Okay, so use a separate CSS file for the style. This was specified in the rubrics. That's not my directions, but that's what you have to do. And it is required to use a for each loop to echo the file. All right, and then when you're all done, FTP the web page. So here's a screenshot of the JSON file. I attached it, but you can see basically it's movies, and then under that it has like title, year, has different. So this is what I'm talking about, the input format to the function. So this is one way that a JSON file is organized, formatted, and you want to take that format out, put it in a variable, and then massage it some through a for loop such that you produce an output like this for your web page. Okay, so at a minimum, your page should look something like this. Now this is a PHP class, not a CSS class, so I'm more interested in the programming, but certainly if you want to do, make it prettier, by all means, whatever you want to do for style here, you really do need to do style. That's important. Nobody wants to look at just a totally boring web page. Okay, so also your style sheet, don't forget you have to have a CSS file. I'm just attaching this for your own reference so that you got a link to the CSS file. Now here I'm giving you some of the code. Okay, I'm kind of walking you through this first project because I know this could be a first programming assignment for some of you, and it could be a while since you've seen CSS and HTML. For others, this project may just seem so simple, it's like, why bother? But just to get us started in the course and to get you the idea of how to integrate everything, I'm giving you some of the code and I'm going to go over it here. So basically, these are the functions I was talking about. It's going to open your file and put it in this variable. Now, again, like I said, this is PHP. See, PHP open, PHP close. So, again, like I said, your research, and there's a number of ways you can do this. Often, I just like to take a function and print it, and then I can see what the actual output looks like, and then I can use my loops to massage that data the way I want it to be. Okay, so now you open the HTML. Don't forget to do your CSS file. Sometimes what I like to do is go ahead and include my style in document, and then later I'd copy it and write it to another file. It just depends how you want to do it, but the specifications of the project said that you're supposed to have a separate CSS file. All right. So then you should know this stuff by now. The head and the body and ID and header 1 and list here. Okay, now this is where I've taken out some of the code because this is what the PHP, and this class is really a PHP class. So in this area is what you have to do to complete this assignment. So basically you'll be taking this variable and you'll be changing the data, assigning it to different arrays or whatever, however you want to do it to make the output look like that. Okay, so I hope that should be pretty clear. Also, I want you to notice, look at the comments here, because here you're in PHP world, right? So look at the comments here. Now look how you comment up here, because here you're in HTML world. So as soon as you get like this, PHP takes over and it's embedded in your HTML. So that's basically your task. That's all I'm really asking you to do is create the CSS file and take this for loop and use this for loops and perhaps arrays and things of that nature to organize this data and give you an output to a web page. Okay, so you want to submit a short write-up through the shell. One paragraph is enough. What you learned, what you researched, problems you had, and how you solved the problems. So really, all I'm asking you to do is a CSS file to just get you back in that world, reviewed, and a for each loop in the PHP. The rest I'm providing for you. So I hope this gets you going in the course with integrating PHP, HTML, and CSS all into one document. And after this project, I won't be providing so much of the code like this for you. So again, I hope this gets you going and enjoy the project. Thank you.